The story of King George III, the stubborn king who wouldn't let go. In the late 18th century, when the world was beginning to change faster than ever before, there lived a young British monarch named King George III. When he became king at just 22 years old, many people in Britain were hopeful. George was polite, well-educated, and unlike many kings before him, he didn't like wild living or scandal. He preferred farming, science, and long walks in the garden. In fact, people later called him Farmer George. But fate had bigger, stormier plans for him. A kingdom full of problems. When George III took the throne, Britain was already a powerful empire controlling lands across the world. But running an empire was expensive, very expensive. After a long and costly war with France, Britain needed money. And when a king needs money, taxes soon follow. Across the Atlantic Ocean, the American colonists, who were used to making their own decisions, didn't like the idea of being taxed by a king they never saw. They had no representation in the British Parliament. So when George's government tried to tax tea, paper, stamps, and more, the colonists shouted a phrase that became famous: "No taxation without representation." The king, stubborn and firm, believed the colonies must obey the empire. The colonists believed they must be free. A storm was coming. The American Revolution. Under King George III's rule, tension exploded into the American Revolution. From 1775 to 1783, British soldiers fought against colonial rebels who dreamed of forming a new nation. Throughout the war, George III refused to give up. He believed it was his duty to preserve the empire. Even when Britain started losing major battles, even when France joined the Americans, he pushed on. But in the end, the colonists won. The United States of America was born. Many in Britain blamed the king. Yet historians later discovered something interesting. The king wasn't the tyrant that American propaganda painted him to be. He simply didn't understand why the colonists wouldn't obey him, and he believed he was defending the laws of the empire. Still, losing America was one of the greatest blows of his reign. Triumphs, troubles, and the shadow of madness. After the American War, George III continued ruling through one of Britain's most dramatic eras. Under his reign, Britain defeated Napoleon's France. The Industrial Revolution reshaped the world. Science, farming, and the arts flourished. The British Empire expanded even more across Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean. But King George III himself was living a different story.